And we should be live. Let me check. It seems to say we are.
Yep.
Yes. Awesome. Alright. Hello, everyone. Ace here. I am joined today with returning guest Urosocium.
Hello, everybody.
And today we are, of course, going back to Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron. Specifically, issue number 3. So, we will see how this goes. I mean, I'm looking forward to this. Of course, this is an older comic book series, and because it's not modern Disney Star Wars, this one is, of course, actually been good so far. So, we will see how this continues, I suppose. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in then. Chapter 3. And this, of course, provides us a timeline. Although, interestingly, this is, of course, pre-prequel, so that should give you an idea of how far back we're going. But, anyways. I think, I forget who was voicing who last live stream, so do you want to voice the TIE Interceptor commander there?
Yeah, I can try.
Okay.
He was a sort of bald guy. I think I remember.
Well, yeah.
Tighten up. I'm bringing them to treetop level. We'll be on that rebel depot before they know what hit them.
Silpar, having convinced the local Imperial garrison he's a downed imp pilot, Rogue Squadron Seltu Tycho finds himself forced to participate in a search and destroy mission against his comrades.
Who is this person? The one that is calling?
I'm going to assume that the commander is asking...
Virtue. How you doing back there?
No problem, Major Grode. Problem. How do I warn Rogue Squadron without tipping my hand?
Switch to laser line communication.
What did Winter say? Use extremely low frequencies to communicate your R2 unit? Zot, I hope I have enough time. At these frequencies, it takes 7 seconds to transmit each command. We'll be on the target in 14 minutes. I'll hang a wire and hydroshack the biosystem.
Virtue. You're in the grass. Pull up.
I'm fine, sir. I'm out of your signature in case someone picks us up.
Well, don't drop it. That fighter cost a lot of credit. Weren't these mass-produced pieces of shit?
Yeah, but your commander is going to obviously say that, even if it's built by the lowest bidder, to be fair.
Well, maybe the cost, the preacher, the one priest part was the pilot, to be honest.
Mm.
Well, considering the quality.
Anyways, Stormtrooper Louisiana says modern Star Wars, or as I call it, Disney Wars. I just call it Star Woke.
That too.
Kulesa says my beep is late, but not forgotten, hopefully. No, it is not forgotten. Deep in the Silpar jungle, Franz Bushko's abandoned X-Wing, transmitting his instructions via hydrostatic waves. Whoop, whoop. Whoosh. Whoop. Elsewhere in the forest, a hidden rebel supply depot.
We don't know who is who here.
Well, I guess we'll assume The person saying leave it is the woman that's in charge of the group there.
Yes.
And maybe Wedge is voicing that is the first person talking, so do you want to voice Wedge?
I am fine with whichever one.
All right.
So if you want, I can do the woman.
Okay. I guess I'll voice Wedge then. What do you want us to do with this imp space trooper?
Leave it.
I guess I'll voice this character as another unknown character.
Bye.
Hey, Eskel, maybe we ought to take it. It's got firepower.
The same, the woman, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Forget it, Vance. It's designed for deep space. It won't fly more than 10 clicks down here.
Maybe we ought to leave it a guard.
Who do you have in mind?
I'll do it. How come we need a guard all of a sudden?
We don't. Can your squad absorb all this?
You bet. What we can't use, we'll take to Melist.
Fine. We'll make 2 trips.
You want to voice this character now?
Fine.
Huh? What's up, Delar?
Something coming.
Kulessa says, also, I noticed you're about to hit 20k. Congrats, man. Thank you very much. Stormtrooper says, oh shit, I didn't know he was about to hit 20k. Nice going, Asa. Thank you very much. We're about 450 subs away, more or less, from that.
Little by little.
Mm-hmm. Whoosh. Eskel!
What was it?
An X-Wing came in at treetop level. It's a warning. Tycho wouldn't put us at risk unless there was an imp patrol nearby.
Load those floaters. We're getting out of here.
Eskel, why don't you ride with me?
Sorry. There's only room in the floater for 2.
That Wookiee isn't going to ride in a floater.
Not Grosnik, unless I am not letting him out of my sight. Let's move it, people.
I hear the fighters. Major Grode, this is Silsu. I've got an X-Wing on my tail. I'm going to break off and engage.
Negative, Captain. Tighten up your formation and join the attack on the rebel depot. The X-Wing is mine.
Glory-hungry imp's going to get a medal for shooting down my X-Wing. Whoa, my I-2 never flew like that before. Whoosh.
Captain, tighten up your formation now. We got those rebels on the run.
The controls are similar to my X-Wing. Let me drive.
Forget it.
Eskel... Eskel, I'm a veteran with over 30 kills. Let me drive.
Arrogant rocket jockey. My speeder, my world, I drive.
Okay. Thwack! Imagine your TIE fighter getting destroyed by a tree branch. I mean, to be fair, it is a Wookiee doing that, but...
I mean, the TIE fighters are shit, but this is a bit too much, I think.
Yeah, but this is still a Wookiee doing that, and Wookiees, again, are known for pulling the arms of droids out of their sockets, so...
Yeah, yeah. Maybe I am more surprised that the stick is holding up.
Yeah,
Okay.
that... Uh... Let's see, Glessa says, oddly, for some reason, this look a bit like Star Wars. Maybe because the art is imitating some of the old Star Wars comics. Let's hope the writing... It is actually one of the old Star Wars comics, though. That's the thing. Glessa says, I'm a bit late, missed a few comics. I would love some context. So, the Rebels... Okay, so the context... It's been a while, but, basically, the context is the Rebels... Wedge Antilles Rogue Squadron landed on this planet to try to contact some of the local fighters that are in this area. They're not really fans of the Rebels at this time, but they both hate the Empire, so they're kind of working together right now. And you have one of the Rebel pilots has snuck into an Imperial TIE fighter squadron here. And he is thus piloting one of the TIE fighters and is now forced to take part in a mission against his own squadron out of sheer happenstance. I think he was there to spy or something, but yeah. Winter's King says, who wants to bet on whether Disney race swaps Wedge?
Oh, please.
Well, he's not redheaded, and we know Disney or the woke crowd tends to do it to gingers specifically.
Yeah, they are basically non-existent now.
Yep. Winter's King says, hello Ace, hope everyone is having a good day, or at least that everyone was before watching this comic. This comic is actually good, because this is an older comic.
Yeah, when the new ones come back, it is when we are going to suffer.
Stormtrooper says, Disney will race gender swap anybody for points. Coolessa says, oddly, for some reason, this looks a bit like Star Wars. Yeah, well, I already mentioned that. Winter's King says, ew, look at that man face they gave that chick in the mid-panel. I mean, a little bit, I will say that. Still nothing compared to modern Disney Star Wars, so I'm going to chalk this up to... I'll just chalk this up to the art style being a little bit odd here and there. Like, you can see the Wookiee face as well in the next panel being kind of a little odd as well, so...
They did a good enough job.
Yeah, I think they did a good enough job. Coolessa says, woke took South Park joke of Ginger, have no soul, literally. Yeah, they did. In fact, a great amusing little thing I noticed, someone... Okay, so who here... Some of you might be familiar with this. There's a long-going fan show of sorts called Battlefield Friends, which is made for people that are fans of the Battlefield franchise. Now, this has been a thing since 2010, 2011 or so. 2011, actually. So it's been a thing since Battlefield 3, right? Even they're now going after the woke crowd at this point. Thanks to their latest video... They had their latest video. They had a character that is the old man character that thinks that every single change was done to ruin Battlefield, and yet he's the one that's playing as Sundance in 2042, which for those who don't know is the non-binary character with the wingsuit. But yeah, we then find out the old man's apparently woke, but still hates gingers and people based on their race and all that. So it is a completely 100% accurate representation for how the woke crowd actually are.
Much sadness.
But the fact that we've got it to even a fairly normie show like Battlefield Friends is actively going after the woke crowd with that. A little joke is... Well, it's telling just how unpopular wokeness actually is at this point. Stormtrooper says, oh, I saw that Battlefield Friends episode. Oh, God, that was funny. Indeed. Again, especially if you know the history of the old man. It just fits so well. Coolessa says, I'm not an engineer, more of an architect. Not real yet, but yeah, I'm sure your craft can withstand entry of the atmosphere. It will not break that easy by some wood. By some wood. Yeah. I mean, we say that, but for whatever... I will say this. I think the lore is that the TIE fighters are made out of titanium.
Yes, I think so. But weren't the wings aren't just two huge solar panels? I mean, it is still it still has a base of titanium, but solar panels aren't exactly resilient.
I mean, and to be fair, just because something can withstand the temperatures of re-entering the atmosphere doesn't necessarily mean that it reacts all that well to blows. Look at the panel, the heat shields of the Challenger, I think it was, as a good example of that.
Concussion and heat are two different types of damage.
Yeah. So I think I will actually give them the benefit of the doubt, I think, in this one, just because there's actually cause for that, I think, to some degrees. But yeah. And if you really wanted to get into it, I could also point to how things such as in World War II you had barrage balloons with the little wires, and these things were, and the way these things worked was if a plane flew into that, yeah, the wire should in theory be not capable of cutting through the wing of the aircraft, but when the aircraft did, but it did actually do that. So there seems to be... So yeah, I can kind of forgive this, I will say. Winter's King says, lol, woke is out and interstellar luxury traditionalism is in. Alright, anyways, let's finally go on and continue, because we have been on a little bit of a tangent there.
Yeah.
He brought down that fighter with a stick.
They have a game with stick and ball on Kashyyyk. Rebel people to Rebel Rock. Stand by.
Coolissa says, dude, titanium is really, really strong. I just Googled how strong it is. The alloy is... okay. It is strong. Well, the thing with titanium, it's strong, but there's stronger material, like steel, for example, is most certainly stronger than titanium. It's just that steel tends to be a lot denser. At least from what I recall. I remember reading this about the density of, basically the density or strength of various materials from a manual on tank armor that I got with my copy of Steel Beast from way back in the day, which is a tank sim that is so accurate that it is actually used to train actual tank crews. But anyways, but yeah, apparently steel is denser than titanium, but titanium is significantly lighter. So while it's not as strong, it is in terms of the weight. You can do more with in terms of weight in that regard. So that's the big appeal of titanium, as far as that's concerned. It is significantly stronger than aluminum, though. That is for sure. Stormtrooper says, you know what I like about Postal 2 is it makes fun of everybody. Yep. Winter's King says woke people be like Wookiees are racist to Indians because the ancient Greeks had a stereotype about Indian people having dog and speak. They did? That's news to me. I mean, if it is true that that was historically a thing, then that's something I didn't know about. But amusingly, imagine if the woke crowd unironically do end up making that argument at some point.
Don't say it too loud.
I can see it.
I can see it.
I can see it now. People in the Sig Marxism community start talking about Star Wars, and then they say, you know that Indian people from the Indian subcontinent are all Wookiees, right?
Well, apparently goblins are Jews, so...
No, it's the Skaven that they think are...
Yeah, but didn't they say that the goblins from Harry Potter were
Oh,
Jews
yeah,
from
that
the-
too. That too. You're right, that too. But apparently it's also the Skaven as well. Apparently, whenever someone from Sig Marxism looks at Ikit Law, they instantly think Ben Shapiro or something. Just
Yeah, they are racist on the house, only they are not who they think they are.
yeah, and I think we should probably leave Better Enough alone before we start talking about the politically correct woke view on the orcs.
Yes. Or this stream is going to be demonetized.
Oh yeah. All right. Winter's King says, "Wait, Winter, is that true?" Winter's King says, "Lol, it's true," and that is literally their type of argument. Sadly, that is the woke argument in a nutshell. I mean, that's also why we have. That's also, I know one more. That's also why we have. Never mind.
We can spend hours on this.
Yeah, there's also, of course, the woke interpretations of Slaanesh, where we have people that unironically try to argue that Slaanesh is the god of trans people.
There are
just
so
think
many things to
Yeah.
say about this. I think I remember someone that brought this up in Twitter that saying, so you identify with the god of rape, murder, drugs, and all that shit. And, well, I imagine that it is no surprise when I return to that message and see that the person has been kicked out for a while.
I know the latest example of the person that did that tried to argue that Slaanesh was the god of trans people. They ended up retracting that, trying to claim it was satire. Okay, so what are you satirizing with that? Are you trying to satirize the fact that the woke crowd will identify with evil itself? I mean, if that's the case, then that's kind of a difficult sell, given that, let's be honest, the woke crowd does not like making fun of itself. So,
Yeah, it is anathema to them.
so that's the thing with satire that's the thing with satire is that you actually. The thing is, this is actually something that certain woke people have actually explained before as well, and now you see some of these same individuals just making the exact mistake themselves. It's hilarious. It really is just how much of a self-owned the ideology has become at this point. But I digress. Winter's King says SJWs are literally chaos cultists. Changed my mind. Well, that would require you to actually be wrong in order for me to effectively change your mind on that point, I think. Yeah, so I can't really change your mind because you're not wrong.
Well, maybe I was going to say not even Slaanesh will want them, but I don't know. I can't speak for Slaanesh.
I mean, it's not just Slaanesh as well. I mean, I've seen other memes arguing that Tzeentch is the real god of trans people because Tzeentch is the god of change.
Well, the beard has plans within plans, so why not? This hurts a little bit, you know.
All right. Let's go ahead and continue on. We've ragged on the woke crowd long enough. Well, we haven't, but we've ragged on them long enough for now. Coolessa says, I personally think when they call us thing, whatever, just whenever they go on the defense, but instead we need to make fun of them, never validate the argument of crazy. Yeah,
Correct.
we do need to basically just mock the ever-living shit out of them at every single opportunity. But just as importantly, use them as a poster child for why their way of thinking is wrong. Why? Because the greatest insult you can do to an activist, the greatest slight imaginable to these people, is to use them as a propaganda piece or just a poster child for why their way of thinking is evil. The fact that they are a hindrance to their own ideology is the biggest insult that you can do to them. That's why when I did the Matt Sy debate, the thing that I focused on afterwards was the fact that Matt Sy ended up arguing that he was perfectly fine with finding the Holocaust to have been perfectly forgivable had it just been merely done by the right people. That was his act. That was what he actually demonstrated during that debate. So
I still can't believe that was a thing.
I still can't believe he sat there and he said, well, the Holocaust happened in the 40s, so, after doing this, after defending an ideology that wants to talk about stuff that happened centuries ago and stuff like that, although completely leave out the ideologies that were responsible for that, because it might make them look bad. But anyways, Stormtrooper says, I've heard the woke crowd despises anime girl. I don't know why. Take your pick. There's which reason would you want? The where are her organs crowd, or
Too much movie?
that too?
Or the fact that the girls act usually like girls? You can't have that now.
Also, perhaps a little bit of jealousy. Because let's face it, the land whales of the woke crowd aren't exactly the most appealing on the eyes.
No.
Although that's probably a cheap shot. I'll admit that's a cheap shot, but anyways, let's go ahead and continue. I don't care if it's a cheap shot. It's still funny, and it's still true. All right. Let's go ahead and continue. All right, I think you're up next there, Urus.
I think that is Antilles.
It's her saying, sit back and enjoy the ride.
I thought we were lower. Okay. Sit back and enjoy the ride, hotshot. I got it covered.
2 more on your tail. They're cutting down the forest to get at us.
I told you to relax and enjoy the ride.
We're out of the forest. They'll have a clear shot.
So does Rebel Rock.
Rebel Rock?
Ground support, Ace.
What ground support?
Oh, for Stern's sake, calm down. They are above us.
Thwap?
Some of these sound effects.
Wow, these TIE fighters really are cheaply made.
Oh, yeah.
Costs a lot of money. Let me read some of the comments here. Winter's King says the feminists are scared anime girls will replace them. Oh, you better believe they are scared of that.
A bit too late.
Stormtrooper says, damn, Ace, the irony is I hate anime girls and I don't get the reason why woke mafia hates. But then again, I don't get weeaboos, so No, Stormtrooper, he's right, says Winner's King. Alright, let's go ahead. That did it. The rest are peeling off.
You know, for a certified ice, you do an awful lot of jumping around. Sit. I'm going back to pick up Krosnik.
Arrogant fool. I could have told him not to split his forces. Now there are 5 of us against my own X-Wing. No way. Can my R2 shoot down an ace fighter pilot? Or even this clown? I'd take him out myself, but that would blow my cover. So long, old girl. She was a heck of a fighter. She's still a heck of a fighter. And now she's after me. Hey, you stupid piece of crap, it's Tycho, your master.
This will be so fucking ironic. Hold her steady, Captain. I'll take that bandit off your tail.
Anytime, sir. At least this will cement my position with the imps.
Felchu, he's turning. Give me support.
Stang! My R2 just shot down Wing Commander. Grode!
These pilots are either shit or that R2 is very, very good.
I mean, maybe it's because the R2 does not have to worry about the G-forces of the effects of the G-forces on the pilot. So,
that too.
Imagine being a... But my God, does that also have to be somewhat embarrassing to be Tycho there. I mean, you're sitting there watching your R2 completely cuck you in your own starfighter.
Well, I think he's about to learn how it feels. Oh shit. He is going to learn how it feels.
Way to go, R2 unit. It must have absorbed that stunt from me. Oh, Vars! No, you stupid buckets of bolts! Cancel! Cancel! Stang! Shot down by my own R2 unit.
I was kidding, you know. Well, this is appropriate. You know what happens when you play a match with only bots? They are either stupid or they are into an idiot. I didn't know TIE fighters are ejector seats.
Alright, Stormtrooper says, that Rogue Squadron game that came out recently, was it any good? I don't think the Rogue Squadron game has actively come out yet. I think they're talking about doing it if enough support comes. And judging from the looks of things, I wouldn't be surprised if we get it, though, at this point. Because, basically, there has been a fair amount of attention just from that tweet from that company Asper saying, hey, if we get enough attention for it, we will make the game. And so all of a sudden, a lot of people are coming out of the woodwork just to say, hey, we want that game. In fact, I think one of the developers behind Rogue Squadron even responded saying, hey, you could also do the remaster that we were planning on the Wii that got canceled that has all these new features. And basically what it was a remaster of all 3 of the Rogue Squadron games on the Wii. And with Rebel Strike, the 3rd game, they even introduced some additional stuff like motion controls. So for the lightsaber sequences, which Rebel Strike did actually have.
Sounds nice.
Yes. So I'm kind of curious if they do that. Of course, I personally also want to see Battle for Naboo as well, which is the fourth forgotten game that most people forget about. I really want to see that one as well because it is pretty good as well. It's just not as well known. It's technically not a Rogue Squadron game, but it's made by the same people, and it's basically a Rogue Squadron game just without having the Rogue Squadron name attached to it. Really good one, though, as well. But to answer your question, Stormtrooper, are the Rogue Squadron games good? Yes. Undeniably good. They are great games in their own right, definitely deserve to be played. At this point, though, I would feel free to, of course, pick up the GOG version. You will want to have... I do have a guide on how to get that running, if you want to give it a shot.
With a lot of patience.
Dejora says, hi, first time here. Well, welcome aboard, officially. My bro Uro's here. So this is your sister, eh? Okay.
Oh, shit! What the...
Alright, so told me about your streams before, and the last time you were online, I was there with him listening. Have fun so far. Glad to hear you're having fun so far. Blessa says, wow, I realize this comic is almost older than me. You do say it's old. No wonder I feel and look like Star Wars. It was made before me. Yeah, it is. Ace, have you played Ground Branch? Mate, I think I have a little bit. I'll have to double check. But I have. You did actually mention that earlier. I do recall at some point. I think on a previous video or something. So I am wanting to check it out, admittedly. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and continue. Pop. Whoop! At least these eyeballs are fitted with an escape harness. If it shoots me down now, I'll know it's been keeping bad company. Hey, thanks. Thanks a lot.
I don't remember, and this is a serious question. There were TIE fighters made for, only planet support? Or they were multi-purpose?
Are you asking if the Empire made planetary fighters that were...
No, I mean, because if this is a standard TIE fighter, I am not sure that even with a suite, it is going to help if you use, pop out of the fighter in the middle of a space.
Well, now that you mention it, I know for a fact that TIE fighters do not have life support. So the pilot has to have all that gear with him on his own physical person. So
I don't remember that.
I do remember that it doesn't have a life support system on the TIE fighter itself, because that was something I think it was listed as I think it was in either Rogue Squadron 2 or 3 in the games. They say very specifically that the TIE fighter does not actually have a life support system. In fact, I think that might even be the case with the TIE Advanced as well.
These things are shit. So bad.
And amusingly, the TIE Advanced has a shield generator. So they put a shield generator as higher priority than having life support. Although the escape hatch thing might actually be... I don't know it. I don't think it would have a parachute necessarily, but I mean, the X-Wing and TIE Fighter games made it clear that basically, even the X-Wing games, the pilots, if you get shot down, you can still survive and get picked up. So apparently the pilot has, even on X-Wing, some sort of life support system on his person just in case he gets shot down. So there has to be ways to escape these things, basically. So it does seem to be actually there. Coolessa says, welcome to our streams. I do, but you need to answer a crucial question.
Yes, I know.
Stormtrooper says, "Oh my God, Urus is a goddamn furry." Tajora's laughing. Urus says, "Someone shall day later." Tajora says, All right, now let's go ahead and continue. But yeah, like I said, it is actually
Just a thing. You obviously know that I say someone say die, but it was autocorrected somehow.
Oh, I
Instead,
see. Okay, I see. Fair enough.
well, you were saying?
But yeah, as I was saying earlier, though, the TIE Fighter itself does not come equipped with a life support system. So the pilot has to have that on his physical person when he's out in space. So, and yeah, I do think, from what I recall, that you are able to eject either both out of an X-wing or a TIE Fighter, at least as far as the lore is concerned.
The X-wing I was expecting. The TIE Fighter not so much. We cannot stress just how cheap these things are.
Yeah, that is true. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue. Phew. So it wasn't him that shot. So it was someone else that shot him down. Okay.
And who is this person? I don't remember right now.
Lady Winter, it says. Okay. You want to voice her or shall I?
I can do. Johnson.
Lady Winter, thank the Force you've returned. Got any food?
No, something rather amazing happened. I got into Tycho's fighter to contact wets, and it took off.
Okay, that explains that.
Well, it can happen.
Yeah, that actually. Okay, fair enough. That's a plot twist I did not see coming, and it kind of does work. So, fine.
Hey.
Rogue Squadron base. Elsewhere, can we talk in private?
Sure. Send this flutter back out as soon as Baines arrives.
I received a comm from Targeter. She's alive, and I have her location.
I guess I'll soon be proud of you then.
Anxious, eh?
Sorry, I didn't mean. I should have.
Forget it. We're all on the same side. Okay, obviously we have a problem. Someone tipped the imps about our supply run. All my pilots are now accounted for.
My men are clear. Clean.
You want to voice this character too, or shall I?
This one you can do.
All right. You sure about that, honey? Someone tempted the imps to your old neighborhood.
Don't call me honey.
How long has it been, sugar? Don't you think you've been carrying this wounded routine out a little too far? Ladies, listen. I've heard from Targeter. We need to make contact. Don't call me lady. Wow, this comic is coming ahead of its time.
Yes, quite.
But Targeter is alive.
Can she help us?
Of course.
Then what are we waiting for? Vance, you can go.
You sure you don't want to send Grosnik?
I appreciate your loyalty, but you know Rosnik will leave my side.
Ask him. Grosnik?
Vance, that leaves you.
If you're sure.
Please, Vance. You're the only one I can trust.
All right.
Thanks, Vance. Bring her back here.
I know the routine.
Oh my god. Happy.
Delur, Delur, would you take over from Derek?
Me? Why me?
Because you have such stupendous hearing.
Uh-huh. I can hear a word you're saying. Take a hike. I am on watch.
Thought you were coming on at night.
Oh. Which wants to make with the lady guerrilla fighter? A handsome devil like me in the room was cramping his style.
Are you telling me Wedge has the hots for the Iskall?
Hey, Derek, wise up.
Phew, my beacon in the crash. Phew, lost my beacon in the crash. Not that I'm all that eager to have the imps pick me up. Clearing up ahead looks like some kind of building. If this war ever ends, archaeologists are going to descend on this little planet big time. It's still daylight. I shouldn't have to worry about any stinking wrongs. Ho!
A dark trooper?
Yep. I'll be Plasm. It's an imp supply base. What's a deep space fighter doing here? Gave me quite a start.
More.
They're nocturnal. They're not dangerous in the day unless disturbed. Nice wrong.
Wait, weren't the wrongs the species whose females were all poisonous?
Was it the females or the males that were poisonous?
No. I think if you ate the females, you die. If you ate the males, you are okay.
Okay. Skimmer approaching. The price of safety these days, it might as well be illegal. Ugh. Thing weighs a lot lately. I hope it'll fly. I think we know what's happened there. No, it's not what happened. Stang! So that's how you get rid of stonks. Of wrongs. And to think I wasted a perfectly good glow rod. Of course, the price of Orate being what it is, I'd pay it for just one cup. Nothing in here I can use. I'll have to walk out. Follow Winter's orders. Winter. She reminds me of Mia, who died when the Empire bombed Alderaan while I was serving in the Imperial Navy.
How's the leg?
Doesn't hurt anymore. Is there anything you can't do?
There must be several things. I can cook, in case you haven't noticed.
I didn't want to say anything. It's really hard to mess up a protein stick. Excuse me for asking, but why did you give up service to the princess?
Who says I gave it up?
Whoops.
Hmm. Who is this one? The girl still, I suppose?
I guess.
Hmm. Yes, that's right, folks. She is on a secret mission. It's all right, Jensen. But I do have to keep the details to myself.
Here we are, right where Wedge said. So what's the deal with Tycho? Why did he switch sides?
It's no secret. He just doesn't like to talk about it. He got drafted into the Alderan Navy. He is not the type of man who desert his family to answer the call to arms. He was talking to his girlfriend when the transmission went out. It went down all the time, so it didn't bother him. Later, he found out that Alderan had been hit with the Death Star. They were there, his mother and father, two sisters, a brother, and his fiancée, Mia. Someone is coming.
Could it be Tycho?
No, act like I am the princess. Act like I am Princess Leia.
Hey, no cause for alarm. I'm from the local resistance. Wedge sent me.
At last.
Vance Rigo, at your service.
Please, no formalities, Vance. I'm glad the Resistance has finally established contact.
Moff Taskell will be overjoyed to hear, the one and only Princess Leia Organa. Just hand me the blaster, Princess.
We have a traitor.
Yep. And now we know who the traitor was. So that's a bit of a plot twist, although I kind of... did you see that one coming to us?
Well, after he got into the Imperial supply cage, it was either he knew perfectly where it was and he hadn't shared the information for some personal profit or other, which, can be, or traitor.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting something, so... Anyways, let's go ahead and continue. Is this the end of the comic? Oh,
Yep.
Yes, it is. Alright. Well, we've been at it for about an hour, so I know people want to usually call it when the comic ends, so... Let's go back to this. So what are your thoughts on this particular comic book?
Well, other than the bits of campy here and there, it is very good. I mean, if nothing else, we had a bit of a laugh with the with the with the aerobatics, let's say.
Yeah.
And as you said, it was ahead of its time. So I will recommend to read the whole thing, in fact, if you have time.
Yep, this one's actually showing promise. I agree. Alright, so let me go ahead and read some of the comments here. Stormtrooper says, okay, so Niall Norman Cultist says, oi. Okay, hello, Niall Norman Cultist. Stormtrooper says, oh damn, Ace's South voice got me acting up. Yeah, you can probably tell I'm not from the South, so. Quilla says, by the way, we got an update for Deep Galactic Rock today. They added new weapons too. RNS? Yeah. I know Age of Empires 2 has just dropped a new expansion, expanding the Indian subcontinent. So, yeah, they've added in some new stuff there. They've even added in, one of the factions has that weird sword that is apparently from their region. Basically, in India, there's a type of sword where they make it so flexible that it's basically like a whip, but it is actually a sword. It has its own fighting style and all that, and it does actually seem to work. And
I
apparently...
still don't know how. I mean, if it is a steel whip. I
Well,
can't see it working, to be honest.
well, it is steel, but it's so flex. It kind of curls up, but when you swing it, it flexes, it stretches out a little bit and acts kind of like a whip, but you do cut like a whip, like a sword.
Hmm.
Let me see. I think I might actually be able to get some video of it somewhere if I really look, but anyways, so let's see some of the other comments here before I do that. Winter's King says everyone knows that the best are fantasy character anime girls. Coolessa says fox girls or cat girls. Uh, is he asking me or is he just asking Winter's King? I wonder.
I don't know. By the way, I just found the sword.
Yep.
Interesting.
Let's see if the Urami. Okay, there it is. That's what it's called.
I wonder if they made the Soul Calibur sword from this one. I mean, as a base.
Maybe. Let me see if the. So I found a video. I might actually be of the right thing just to check, see if it thinks, if it is actually what I think, and it shows how it actually works. Yeah, I think this is the. Okay, there we go. Yep, this is definitely showing it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy the link here. And yeah, this is an actual. I'm guessing they're using blunt versions because they are practicing on. So I'm assuming that this is some sort of blunt version of the sword. I fucking hope this is a blunt version of the sword.
There is no practice. You either do good or you die.
It's kind of weird because the thing is, it's almost like they're swinging it around like a mace or a sling when they're basically just waiting for to do a move of some sort. But yeah, okay, so this does show it in action, and it does look like it's practice. So I will go ahead and I will send you guys a link to that so you can check that out for your curiosity. There you go. Should pop up. There we go. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue. Stormtrooper says, "Oh, I mean, military anime girls who can whip the shit out of you." I mean, as the old saying goes, bitches love cannons. Coolessa says, I can't help that I like how this comic looks like. Stormtrooper says, Ace, you ever play Kaiserreich, the Hoi 4 mod? The Syndicalists are an interesting group. I've not played the Kaiserreich mod itself, although I have played a little bit of Hoi 4. I personally still kind of lean towards Hoi 3 because the AI in Hoi 4 is kind of, well, not very good from my experience, but maybe they've changed it enough that it's actually. I just didn't really like the AI in Hoi 4 in comparison, but anyways. Stormtrooper says, my biggest problem with Star Wars is it flip-flops between fantasy and sci-fi. I mean, I'm kind of okay with it doing it to some degrees. I mean, Warhammer 40k does it a lot more than Star Wars does, so.
Personally, I prefer the Force when it was the Force.
Yes.
Not the midichlorians and shit. I mean, it is fine. It is not bad to have a mystic aspect to the story.
Agreed. Todd Howard Phillips Lovecraft says Urami. Yep, that's what it is. Winter King says the whip sword is really stupid and not really that effective. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the fighting style, so I wouldn't really know. I do know that it's actually, amusingly, there is actually a similar thing in Star Wars in the form of a lightsaber whip.
Yeah, that is bullshit.
Yeah, but it's also old EU canon, so.
Hmm.
Winter's King says, on that note, I'm allergic to cats, so foxes, even though foxes smell really bad in real life. Stormtrooper says, I know that sort of was a berserk, damn, but it was a pain in the ass to animate. Neither cat girls or foxes. Quilissa says, history do got some interesting things, like half swording, aka holding the sword and using it as some sort of mace to penetrate the armor. It's a valid. Yes. Yes. Yes, that is. Yes, they would use what was called the pummel to, well, pummel an enemy.
Yeah, pommel strike.
See what they did there? Winter's King says, Stormy, the real problem with Disney Star Wars is that it doesn't do either fantasy or sci-fi well. Fucks up on both of them. Yeah. The biggest problem with Disney Star Wars is it completely ignores established lore. You can see this with the sequel trilogy. You can also see this especially with the High Republic, where they just ignore established lore and just keep adding to stuff that just does not make sense. Or just completely change the rules. Like, yeah.
It's clear that they just don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm. Stormtrooper says, yeah, Winter's King, and I've never been called Stormy before. The coolest is okay, that sword is. It is cool, I will give it. It does have the cool factor down, at least. It might. I will say this: that weapon might be able to get around shields and stuff, which might actually be kind of. It's kind of similar to how flails might have historically been used in the cases where flails were used. They might have actually been able to get over a shield or something like that and smack an enemy that way. So it might have just made it harder to block.
The problem is that they were very dangerous to yourself, so you better be careful.
There is a technique to them. I mean, swords can also be dangerous to yourself if you don't know what you're doing. Like a real good example is accidentally hitting your leg on a swing. Which is why you want the leg that you're swinging towards to the back. Otherwise, you will. Otherwise, it depends on the specific cut. But if you're swinging down and the sword in the leg that you're swinging toward is down, you can easily dig into your own leg or something like that. Anyways, so let's continue on here. But yeah, the India subcontinent is a treasure trove of really bizarre weapons. Like gun shields, as in a shield that has a 4-barrel pistol or something in it. Which is apparently a thing over there. Or was. There's some other really bizarre stuff here and there as well. I have a book somewhere that shows a lot of it, but I digress.
Well, if nothing else, they did try a lot of things. That they worked or not is different.
Yeah. That is true. Although I think, yeah, there's also this is also the same area that gave us the garrote wire, which originally was just rags that was used by the thuggies. But yeah, stuff like India is known for making some of the weirder and more unusual weapons out there. That's for sure. Stormtrooper says bitches love cannons. Based Ace. Well, that's a reference for those who don't know to Hellsing Ultimate Abridged. Where if you ever watch DBZ Abridged, it was made by the same group, so it's also worth having a look if you're in for a laugh. Quillis says, you know why?
The only problem you have when you watch that is to stop.
Yeah, that is true. Winter's King says, well, you have a very long username, so it's kind of okay. So, Stormtrooper says the only sequel trilogy movie I like was Force Awakens. And it was mad looking back on it. Yeah, it was. When I saw Force Awakens, I just thought to myself, well, this is basically just a rehash of Episode 4. And it wasn't much. And it wasn't as good as Episode 4. Even then, I remember thinking, okay, is this really what everyone is getting so hyped up about? Because at the time, people were legitimately hyped on The Force Awakens. I will give it that. At the time, the Force Awakens seemed like it was going to show promise. And I was thinking of it going, well, okay, it's basically just a rehash. Maybe, hopefully, the next one will be better. The next one was not better.
It went downhill fast.
Yeah! Alright, so, Stormtrooper said, okay, Leonard King says the whip sword thing definitely looks cool, but it would just bend the moment it hit something hard like wood or metal. Steel that thin won't hold up well. That is true. Then again, it could be a case where when it's side on when it's that I think it could be a case where it is thin on the sides, but actually cutting into something, it might actually have more durability that way. Who knows? Winter King says India invented steel very early on and started making weapons, but they invented toilets much later. Lol. Okay.
Different priorities.
Stormtrooper Louisiana says, well, I guess Subcom has been at war for hundreds of years, so I guess I understand strange weapons. Todd Howard Phillips Lovecraft says, The Force Awakens has aged horrifically given how it sets up nearly every single issue in the later movies. Yes, it does. Han Solo dying ruined any chance of the original group reuniting, which is what the whole franchise needed.
Well,
a little bit,
to be honest,
but
considering what happened with Leia, Han did the right thing.
I mean, given how Leia basically became Space Mary Poppins in the Last Jedi,
Please don't remind me.
Coolessa says, when that fraud director said we will get a mystery box, I thought they would give us new, unique story, not just copy the homework of GL, but making it different. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that we would actually get something legitimately different and new as well. We did eventually get that. It's just that the things that they changed made me want to pull my teeth out. Stormtrooper says, Rey is what happens when you run out of ideas, just make Luke female. No, Rey is not Luke. Luke actually has a personality, for one thing. Two, Luke is not completely overpowered. Luke had to actually earn all of the things that he accomplished in life. Luke accomplishes things in life by earning them. Rey accomplishes things in life by just being blessed with the Holy Spirit that is plot writing. That just does not in any way explain how she manages to be perfect at everything.
I remember the first hint that something was horribly wrong when we are in the Millennium Falcon and she just makes it work when Han was wondering what was wrong.
Yeah.
That was a big red flag.
Yep, that's a pretty notorious example right there. Also, her being able to use Force Jedi mind tricks on First Order troopers, the fact that she can fight Kylo Ren in a lightsaber duel.
It is so bullshit, in other words, says my sister.
Stormtrooper says, it's been like 10 years since I saw the other 6 Star Wars movies. Oh, God. That makes me feel old. Okay, I watched the prequel trilogy on the big screen. Hell, I watched Saving Private Ryan on the big screen. Saying that watching a film's 10 years ago makes you feel old, God, I feel ancient right now. I think the worst case, the best, which is part of the reason why I've been doing the your first game was meme videos, because Let's be honest, apparently everyone wants to feel old at some point. Or at least wants to have a laugh about it. So that's part of the reason why I created those. But I can only tell you the pain I felt how old I felt when I did a video talking about what made Minecraft great. And one of the commenters said, I grew up playing this as a kid. And that feeling when Minecraft came out when I was in fucking college.
Good times. Good times.
Oh, God. Winner's King says, Ace, you're almost as old as my dad. Oh, God, no.
Twisting the knife.
Stormtrooper says, Ace, how old are you? Old enough. You didn't raise your hand. That's how old I am. Alright, Cool as it says, I am old enough to remember that the PS2 was one of the best consoles ever, and modern Sony is a far cry from their glory days. Yes, I remember that. I am old enough to remember playing the Oregon Trail on an Apple in school.
Oh shit, man. That is hard. Emotional damage.
Honestly, fuck trying to ford that first river. But Winner's King says, I'm in my mid-20s. Oh, God, no! No! Coolessa says, I'm even old enough to remember the days I used to play Flash games. Dude, Flash games are not that old. Seriously. Oh, God. Stormtrooper says, playing Postal Tool makes me feel old. That game came out 2003, the same year I was born. Where do I even start? Okay, some of the other stuff I remember. I remember getting hyped for the brand spanking new Donkey Kong Country 2.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
And for those curious, my first console was an NES. In a time when the NES was still being played. I ended up getting an Atari later, the 2600, but Winner's King says, little Stormtrooper, you're a baby. Coolessa says, GTA Vice City used to be installed in every PC on my school PC lab.
No one did anything other than kill people there.
Alright. Anyways, so I think now's a good time to go ahead and call it. I'm probably going to have to work on a video titled Your First Star Wars Game Was. Which means I'm going to have to expand that meme. Winner's King says, I played Civilization 2 on a Windows laptop in 2004. Trying to think of some other stuff I remember that shows how old I am. Video game related. Well, I do.
I remember. This is not super old, but I remember being so excited when I got my PS1 and got the Oddworld games, Abyss Exodus and Abyss Odyssey. Man, that was so much gore back in the day.
Trying to think of one of the games God, I could keep going, but you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead.
Yeah.
I remember when. Okay, I remember when Reboot was new. All right. Well, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. So, Urus, thank you once again for coming on board.
It was a pleasure.
Same here. And I hope you have all enjoyed watching this stream as much as I've enjoyed reading more Star Wars Rogue Squadron. I've thoroughly enjoyed this game. I thoroughly enjoyed the games back in the day, and I thoroughly enjoyed reading this comic so far. So, yeah. But any case, Stormtrooper says, "Wait, Ace, are you in your 30s?" Damn. Yes, yes, I am. So basically, I'm ancient. Uh, Coolescence says, "Does anyone remember the fake Atari consoles that you buy that come with 500 games installed on them? That's still a thing now, isn't it?"
I am pretty sure, yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is. I remember when Nintendo was re-releasing some of their oldest games on fucking cards that you would swipe onto a little scanner on your Game Boy Advance. They
Oh my.
actually they actually sold Donkey Kong in a card pack. So yeah, that's something I remember. Anyways, let's go ahead and like I said, call it. So yeah, this has been Ace,
And this has been Uros.
and we both hope to see you again soon. Until then, take care, Ace.